Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Okay, we're live. Alrighty. It is now May 14th, 5:02 p.m., and we will call the meeting to order of the Personnel Committee. The first order of business would be to approve the minutes from the March 12th, 2025 Personnel Committee meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
And then I always forget how this works. Since it's just us two, we don't need like a second, right? We just going to the.
Yep.
Okay. So, Joe, any discussion?
No.
All right. All those in favor, I guess, of the approval of the March 12th, 2025 Personnel Committee meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Sarah, I can't see. Is anybody there for public appearance for non-agenda items?
No.
Okay.
We have Chris Gleason here, our city assessor, but he's here for an agenda item.
Oh, Chris, we get to see you twice, huh? We had you last night, today. Cool. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. I'm doing my little press tour this week, so making my rounds.
Absolutely. Cool. So we will jump right into business. So the first agenda item is the retitle of the residential appraiser classification to property appraiser 2.
You bet. So I'm sharing my screen here. I wanted to show you just kind of what the assessing department looks like right now. So hang tight as I get this ready. Okay, so in front of you, you've got Chris, our city assessor, and then we have a deputy city assessor, Ian, who just started April 1st. And then you have John Seaman, who's a property appraiser. He started March 31st. And then Julia and Andrew both started about 3 years ago. So Julia is the property appraiser and Andrew is our assessing technician. So you're looking at a small group of assessing professionals. Julia Stover is the position that we're looking at tonight. She's currently a property appraiser 1. And so in the packet was provided the job description for a residential appraiser. So in the pay plan, we actually have what's called a residential appraiser. What we're looking to do is retitle that position to a property appraiser 2. So we're not looking to change the pay grade it's in. We're just wanting to retitle it to make it more reflective of what that position is. So Chris provided a lot of great information in his memo. Thank you, Chris. That basically stated that we removed personal property that's been exempted from taxation back in 2023. So if you look at the marked up job description that was included in the packet, we've removed anything that has to do with personal property. And that retitling it makes it more in alignment with the industry. So that's one part of what we're looking to do tonight. So I think that's the first action, is just getting approval to update the title of residential appraiser, that's in pay grade G, to property appraiser 2 in pay grade G.
Yep, and I looked at it. I don't really have any other questions around this, as it just seemed like it was changing the title and things like that. So Joe, anything from you?
I don't. It's pretty straightforward.
All right, Chris, is there anything you wanted to say further about this?
No, nothing beyond what was included in there. Like Sarah said, I don't, I've been doing this a while. I'm sure there's residential appraiser positions out there, but I think now there's a lot more, I guess, push to like cross-training stuff in the field. So I think just titling it as an appraiser too just makes more sense. It is less, doesn't necessarily pigeonhole somebody into doing just residential. So.
Cool. All right, and I'm assuming the woman who will be reclassified, like she knows this is coming, it would be advantageous to her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Julia's been working here for, like I said, or like Sarah said, about 3 years. She's really kind of become our residential lead. We're working on our kind of, as I mentioned last night, the final stages of our revaluation, and she's been digging in on a lot of some of the more challenging neighborhoods to work with. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, if it makes sense to you all, it makes sense to me. I'm all for, providing individuals with flexibility, especially if it leads to upper mobility or classifications within their own discipline. So I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving, or sorry, Joe, I'll need a motion to approve the retitle of the residential appraiser classification to property appraiser 2.
Move to approve.
Any further discussion? Not hearing none. All those in favor of the retitle from residential appraiser to property appraiser 2 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. The next order of business would also be a reclassification of a 1.0 FTE property appraiser 1 to being also a property appraiser 2.
Exactly. So Julia is the one that's been with us for a little over 3 years, and she's actually doing those higher level duties right now. So in Chris's memo, he mentioned that she's doing things like neighborhood level sales analysis and ratio studies, assisting Chris with defending assessments and reviewing residential appraisals. She also holds her Assessor 2 certification. And so good news too is this reclassification was already forecasted and budgeted in the 2025 budget. So we already have the money there to do this. So that's the great news as well. So pending your approval tonight, Julia then can move up to the property appraiser 2 effective at the beginning of the next pay period.
Alrighty. Joe, did you have any further commentary that you wanted to say about this item?
So just to be clear, this is kind of the second part of the first, like it's a separate part of the same process for that first motion that we approved, correct?
Exactly. Yep. So the first step was just retitling the position, and then the second part was reclassifying the person to the new title. You got it.
I have no questions.
All right. So I'll entertain the motion for reclassification of 1.0 FTE property appraiser 1 to property appraiser 2.
So move.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. And then the next item would just be announcements. And I'm assuming, Sarah, did you want to say when our next meeting is, or do we not know just yet? Or sorry, you had a slide.
I just have two really quick slides for you. So I wanted to announce we have 2 retirements that were announced. Building Inspections Manager John Crook has been with us for 35 years. He is retiring with us on July 4th. And then Parks, Forestry, and Recreation Director Scott Endel has been with us for 19 years. His last day is June 4th. So just a heads up regarding those 2 department head level positions. The Building Inspection Manager interviews are next week, Thursday. So we have 4 individuals coming in for interviews. We hope to fill from that qualified pool of candidates that applied. And then Adam Sayre, our Deputy City Administrator, he will be handling the parks responsibilities in Scott's absence while we reevaluate the position and identify how we're going to fill it. When we had the organizational study, there was recommendations that we don't fill it if it becomes open as a full Parks, Forestry, Recreation Director, but potentially as like a parks manager. So we're just kind of exploring what that might look like. So in the interim, Adam will be busy with Parks Commission meetings and all of the go-to for those types of things.
Okay.
So, and then
Sarah, can you explain the difference between those 2 options?
as far as the Parks and Recreation Director going to a Parks Manager?
Yes.
Yeah, so if it went to a parks manager, it would likely be in a lower pay grade. And then the recreation responsibilities would just be with the recreation director. So we already have a community center and recreation director, Chad Siegel. So he actually already manages recreation. So we essentially right now have a recreation director reporting to a parks forestry recreation director. So recreation potentially might go into a different area of the city. We're still kind of evaluating that. So not really sure what that might look like, but if you recall from the org structure or the org study, they had suggested something like a leisure services department where you combine senior center, recreation, and then parks would be just parks, and so potentially under the public works department. So we're just evaluating based on what that study had identified and just seeing if it's feasible. So more to come on that.
And Sarah, so when we have like the parks and like the tree commission, like what do they do? Like in terms of like actual work that would, I guess, be, I don't want to say oversaw, but like facilitated under a potential like a parks director. Like how does all of that work together?
Yeah, the forester, so the city forester, Anna, would still report to a parks manager, and then the parks manager maybe potentially could report to a public works director. So that's the structure that the org study had proposed, but so it's still going to be very heavily involved with the parks manager because parks and forestry, all of that works so closely together, in addition to
Right.
public works. So more to come on that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I just want to note just a few current projects that we're working on. We're starting to prepare for the second annual Youth Government Week. Super excited about this. So that'll be the last week in August. We'll kind of start getting the word out. And then we're going to arbitration with the fire union. So we did have a mediation and it was not successful. So as you know, earlier this year we had ratified a contract with the police union, but not the fire union.
So Sarah, what does that mean in terms of like time commitment? Like, are we, because I know the last time when we did the last meeting we had that ended up resulting in us going to arbitration, our attorney never really told us like, do we have to attend that, or is that the attorney and the fire union's attorneys doing this arbitration?
My understanding it's going to be the city will be heavily involved. So it'll be the city, the union, so everyone that's around that table, so yourself included, will be part of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was mainly asking. Like, is that like a process we like are involved in or need to be there like as these things are happening?
Yeah, potentially. So we'll keep you in the loop. Right now, we're just working on a document for the arbitrator that shows all we've done up to this point, the offers that we put out there. So yeah, we will definitely keep you in the loop when we have to pull a big meeting together again. But yeah, it's likely we'll have to have some meetings coming up here.
And this isn't like I guess it isn't looked at as because we're going to this process that there's like some dissension between the fire department and the city. It's more so we just couldn't agree on identified items in the contract, right?
Correct, yeah. We just couldn't agree on financials, right? So there's only so much funds and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. We have money that needs to go to fire. We have money allocated for them, but it's just putting that in where they would like to see it in terms of longevity increases or lieutenant differential pay, those types of things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And then the last thing, department head engagement survey. We're going to start action planning at a meeting on May 28th. So we have all our department heads scheduled for that meeting. So we're going to, if you recall, we had an engagement survey earlier this year and we identified 4 focus areas that the city needs to focus on to increase employee engagement. So we'll start an action planning meeting on that day. So hopefully at my next personnel committee, I can give you an update on that.
And do we need to engage in that at all, or is that just literally like the department heads engage and then you just update like what happened, like council after that?
Exactly. Yep. So
Okay.
it'll just be the department heads, and it'll be just kind of like a brainstorm session, and then we can bring an update back to personnel.
Sounds good.
Yep. That's all I've got.
And then do we have a date scheduled yet for our next meeting, or will we?
Yeah, so we meet every other month. So our next meeting will be in July. Boy, I don't have a calendar. Let me double check here. I think it's the second Wednesday of the month. Let me check. Got it. July 9th.
Sarah, while you're checking, I wanted to ask if are you still engaging with Dane County Extension for the Youth and Government Day like last year?
Oh, I'd love to. We haven't reached out yet, but yeah, absolutely. When we start to get that material out, and absolutely, we'll reach back out.
Okay, great.
Yep. And then our next meeting's
And great job on the Bring Your Kid to Work Day. I just wanted to say that publicly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really fun. And Sarah and Amy in the department did a great job with that. Couldn't have done it without the team.
I don't have any kids to bring, but I heard like it was good. So everybody said it was amazing. So, and I heard my little buddy Naya was there, you know, running things. So, you know, I always appreciate, you know, when she's around. If she in the car, tell her I say hello.
She got counted on the roll call for the bike committee.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
I love
Thank
it.
you. July 9th at 5 p.m. is our next meeting.
Okay, sounds good. If there are no other announcements, I won't hold folks up, and we just need a motion for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. FACTv, as always, thank you, Sarah, Chris. You all have a good rest of your day, and Joe, we'll talk soon.
Thank you. See ya.
See you later.
Short and sweet.
How exciting.